I'd like to welcome you to our online presentation today with Travcoa. We're here to talk about Latin America. And we're joined today by Kathy Holler, who is the Vice President of Business Development and Product Innovation. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you, Lee, and thank you to all of you for joining me today. I know it's a busy week trying to wrap up for the holidays, and hopefully I'll leave you inspired so that when you return from resting over the Thanksgiving holidays, you'll have plenty of knowledge to start selling Travcoa's Latin America and all of our destinations around the world. So I will get started then, and thank you, Lee. So firstly, the most important thing, and I'm going to give you a little prelude about Travcoa first. For those of you that have been through my webinars before, please bear with me. But I think it's important just to reemphasize who Travcoa is from the start. So firstly, for 60 years, we have been perfecting the art of travel. We are one of the leading luxury travel companies in the world. And for 60 years, all we have ever done is luxury travel. So we haven't deviated from that as we've evolved through the centuries or through the decades. Now, starting in 1954, I always like to play this out because Mr. Dultz was the founder of our company. He was an explorer in the grand tradition, and what that really means is when you think about it, it was somebody that was well-traveled, that loved seeing the world in style, but he had this adventurous spirit, and so he would go to locations that were not even developed for tourism yet. And when you look at things such as 1956, when he brought the first American group to Nepal, there were no hotels there. And he was able to arrange to stay at the Royal Palace with our group. And that style of travel continued as a legacy of the company over the 60 years. We opened up new destinations, many which are today our key foundational luxury destinations that you send clients to. Well, back in the era when we started, they were not luxury destinations, and Travcoa was a pioneer in bringing them forward. During the first East African photo safaris, which many people don't know, Travcoa really founded that back in the 60s. Opening up China for tourism. Establishing the first air-conditioned cruising on the Sepa River in Papua New Guinea. And as the list goes on, bringing the first U.S. group back to Vietnam in the 90s. And of course, even things such as in 2011, we did bring our groups to Korea, but very quickly we pulled out. And one of the things that you'll find about Travcoa is because we go to destinations that are far-flung and exotics, they're also the destinations that tend to have peaks and valleys of when we go. So up until the Arab Spring, Egypt was a third of our business. We also went to Libya and Syria. So obviously things have evolved and changed, and our clientele has moved on to other destinations with Travcoa. And as destinations come back into stability, we bring them back into our portfolio. So we are looking at bringing Egypt back into the portfolio in the future. So we've always had the black book on the left. And when you look at your screen, this is the World Traveler's Dream Book, the black and gold book. Those are the signature looks. This is really the showcase of some of the best travel experiences in the world that you can do with small groups. Many people still have these brochures. They keep them like National Geographic. They're coffee table magazines that they actually keep year after year. We've had agents come to me and say, we still have our copies from the 60s in the office. So it's really great to know that they're revered that much. Now, on the right, we launched a new book a couple years ago, and it's called Our Private Journey Book. And this is the silver book. And the difference is one is for small group escorted, and the other is for private. So silver means private journeys, black means escorted. So we go to basically over 100 countries on all 7 continents. And so just to express, Africa and the Middle East is core for us, Asia, India, and the South Pacific, Europe, and the Americas, which we'll be talking about today. There's also, again, 3 ways that you can experience traveling the world Travcoa style. So our small group escorted journeys, the private journeys, which are FIT, and custom journeys designed to your client's specifications. So let's talk about the escorted first. When the company was founded 60 years ago, it was founded on the premise around cultural travel, around taking our guests into destinations and immersing them into the culture of the country. To do this effectively and not to be an invasion into a destination, it meant coming in with small groups. And that has been a core foundation to the company since then. Our maximum group size we will take into a destination is 18 guests. plus the travel director. But on average, our group sizes are ranging between 12 to 14. We'll actually operate with less guests. We do guarantee the departures. Now, like any company, we manage our loads in the departures to make sure that they actually can depart with a group of some sort. So even if it's 4 or 6 people, we have operated that way. But we do let you know in advance, usually about 5 months to 6 months in advance. We're monitoring the departures to see how they're booking, so that if your clients are really wanting a group experience and there's only a few people, they may wish to move to another departure. And we take care of moving any expenses to move them to another departure if they choose, or they may cancel the departure if they wish to cancel off the trip. Now, the other thing that's important about our trips on the escorted side is that they are all inclusive. There is nothing to buy. When your client sees the price in the brochure, that's the price they pay. There's no additional taxes. There's no anything else to pay other than their alcohol and personal items. Other than that, it's all inclusive. And then the dine around, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more. But again, the dine around is tied to the all inclusive because it's around allowing your clients to eat whatever they want, whenever they want, wherever they want. The Travcoa travel director, this is like the concierge. It's the ultimate host that's there with your clients throughout their trip. And we also have amazing expert local guides. So very high staff to guest ratio on our trips, because you really have 2 staff plus the driver that are supporting your clients throughout their itinerary. And of course, the accommodations. We always strive to use the best of the best, distinguished accommodations, luxury accommodations, or the best available in a destination. And we always look for properties that have a sense of place. Quite often, because of the group size, we can go into smaller, more intimate, boutique, small luxury hotels that other tour operators cannot use because of the size of their groups. And also all the excursions are included, a unique sense of place, behind the scenes type of experiences. So again, really showcasing the culture of a destination. And window seat for everyone. And this might sound like a minor thing, but when you have a group, say of 14 people, our coach sizes are usually 30. So even if you are traveling with a couple, the couple can split up and relax and stretch out and each have a window seat. They can be together if they wish, but it means that you're not crammed together like a sardine in a can. You've got lots of space to move around. And as I mentioned earlier, 100 countries on all 7 continents. So again, there's not a continent we don't go to, and usually the destinations that are far-flung we go to. The only thing we don't do is we don't do anything in the United States and Canada. So that is not our home for operating tours. Everything we do is outbound. So I mentioned a bit about the luxury hotels. As I said, sense of place. You can see the Adler Kempinski up in the top left. That is actually just outside the Brandenburg Gate. And if you were in Berlin in November this year, that is where the celebration for the 25th anniversary of the Berlin Wall coming down. So you can see we're well positioned to make sure that we have a great location. On the right, that's an image of the Corinthia Hotel in London. Again, one of the top new hotels in the world. Again, we have wonderful accommodation throughout the world of this caliber. On the left, again, you can see your castles in Ireland, and on the right, an interior picture. So again, we really do try to give a great experience of the destination through the accommodation as well. So going on to the dine around quickly. The dine around is unique to Travcoa. There is no other company offering this. And what it means is that while you can eat in the hotel, and any other company will offer that, you can order room service, which not everybody offers, but we do. You can dine in any restaurant in the hotel, order whatever you want, sign the bill to your room. The only thing we don't cover is the alcohol and caviar. But other than that, there are no limits to what you order. However, the unique to us is that you can actually leave the hotel. You can go to any restaurant of your choice. You can have the concierge book it. Our travel director can book it. You can book it way in advance when your clients book the tour with you. You can ask us to book their dinner reservations in say, a high-profile restaurant that's hard to get into. They can go there. They order whatever they want on the menu. They pay the bill. They bring the bill back to our travel director, who submits it to our office. And when your clients return home, anything that they have paid out for food will be reimbursed to them, other than alcohol and caviar. So again, it's truly giving you an all-inclusive uh, real opportunity to enjoy the food of a destination without actually having to worry about your budgets. And why we do this is not a gimmick. It really is about what I said in the beginning. We take clients to destinations to experience the culture. To us, food is a huge part of the culture. And if we were to define how your clients experience the culture and the food of the country, we would not be doing justice to our style of personalized travel. So your clients will eat on their terms. If they go to India and they don't like curry, well, they can order whatever they want. If they go to Tokyo and they decide they wanted to try the most exotic seafood, they can do that. That's their choice. We have many people ask, how do we do this? It's basically a law of averages, just like on an all-inclusive cruise. Clients, if you don't give a limit, they'll enjoy as much as they want, and when they feel that they're satisfied, they don't eat as much. And it's sort of people self-regulate themselves throughout the itinerary, which is quite interesting in how it works, but it does. We've done it for 60 years. So Travcoa travel directors, again, something unique for us. Our travel directors travel the world. They are like Pied Pipers. Once your client has traveled with the travel director, they generally want to travel with them again somewhere else. So they don't just stay in one destination. So Amber with the green gloves, she may be one itinerary, she's in the Himalayas, and then she's in Italy, and then she could be in Africa. And I say it's like a built-in annuity program. Once you have one of your clients getting to know our travel director, they will want to follow them to other destinations. So they will continue to travel with Travcoa. And in fact, the frequency of our travelers that come back to us, I've never seen in the industry the repeat client level that we have with our clients. And then, of course, the expert local guides. We've been around for 60 years. Many of the companies that have guides in each of these countries, the guides they want to work with our tours. So they actually wait till we come out with our announcements for our tours so they can start assigning themselves to which ones they want to go to. So again, though they work with others, they do love to work with us as well. And then private journeys. As I mentioned, back in 2009, we launched private journeys. This allowed our clients that love the experience of Travcoa in terms of our style of experience, our style of guides, our accommodation, the pace, and the destinations we go to, but rather than traveling in a group, they can do it privately. So this is an FIT. So the pre-designed private itineraries, instead of the travel director, we have local guides, private car and driver, same quality of accommodation, but sometimes even more boutique because you're talking about smaller numbers. Premium excursions are included. Because of our buying power leverage through our group departures, we're actually able to leverage that into our private journeys. So it means we actually can be economical too. So even though we're doing luxury, we've got some tremendous rates in our itineraries. Most of these depart any day. So again, you're not structured into a set departure date as you are with the escorted. And they are flexible. You can make changes. I call them ideas with a price. It's a starting point for you to work from. And you can do it for one person. You can do it for 4 people. You can do it for 10 people. You can actually take a private journey and make it into a group. And if you wish to add a travel director to that, we can add that in. Of course, there'll be an additional cost for that, but it allows you some flexibility. And then lastly, that really gravitates to our custom journeys. So custom journeys are what they are. They are really individually designed for the clients. So you would call us, tell us what your clients are looking for. We design it to their specifications, and again, for whatever size. A lot of milestones, multi-generational families, honeymoons, themes, special interest programs. Those seem to be consistently what we're doing as custom. And more we're seeing a migration towards custom journeys. So today is about Latin America, and Travcoa again has been going to Latin America since basically the foundation of the company. So we have a deep interest, deep love for the destination, and a variety of ways to see it. I'm going to start off. Here is a list of the destinations we currently operate in Latin America. Many of them are escorted destinations, but the others are actually going to be private journeys. So as we go through, I'm going to showcase a bit of each, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but again, all the detailed itineraries for every one of these tours can be found on our website, or you may contact me after the webinar. I'd be happy to forward you more detailed PDFs that you can use for your clients. But starting off, alluring South America, this is the quintessential South America in the sense, if you're not going to do South America by a cruise and you want to go across the continent, you take this itinerary. It's a fabulous trip. It starts in Rio. As you can see, it makes its way from Rio to Iguazu Falls on the Argentine-Brazil border, from there into Buenos Aires, from Buenos Aires into Bariloche, into the wine region, then down into Patagonia, and then from Patagonia up in Chile, all the way up to Santiago. And this really gives you a showcase of the culture of South America, all-inclusive, luxury, amazing hotels, food, wine, tango, nature sites, you know, spectacular viewings of Iguazu Falls. So this is the ultimate trip. And again, you know, from a price point, well priced for an all-inclusive trip for this region. Now, if you have a client that wishes to do it privately, though, you can do the same itinerary, almost identical, with a private car and driver. And again, you make your way along the same route. And because it's private, this one can be modified. So if someone wanted to add more days, reduce some days, they can make the change. But it's a very similar. So again, you're seeing Iguazu Falls, Bariloche, Santiago, of course, ending. Now, what a lot of clients do afterwards is that we have a private journey that you can extend from Santiago to Easter Island. And this program, the 5-night, 6-day, actually includes a night on either end back in Lima. So really, or sorry, in Santiago. So you're spending really 3 nights on Easter Island. So this can actually be reduced and modified as well if they don't want to spend the same amount of time in Santiago. You can also go down to the Atacama Desert. So we do a link out of Santiago north up to San Pedro de Atacama. So again, another neat way to sort of combine an itinerary with Atacama, with Easter Island, and then you've pretty much seen a corridor of South America. And if you want to do an escorted journey that takes in much of this area, we have this itinerary that does Patagonia as well as Easter Island. So this would be a group departure. And again, a nice thing, you can actually take this and then combine it with some private time in Atacama on a private journey. So then lastly, land of contrast for Chile, since we're in Chile right now. We have one itinerary, again, as a private journey. And you can see here, you're actually starting in Santiago. And from Santiago, you're going down to Patagonia. You're also going up to Atacama. And you're also, through this process, you're going to be staying in the wine country in the San Antonio Valley and actually staying on a wine farm and having an opportunity to see how they produce their wines. So again, a couple of different areas you can see as you can start mixing, matching, either escorted or stay perfectly with a private journey. And land of contrast, just to give you some ideas, this is an image from Patagonia. You visit Magdalena Island, see the penguins, and then moving your way up to Atacama, which looks very much like a space scene. So it's quite a magnificent setting here. And then on north, now we're going up to Machu Picchu, up to Peru. Here in Bingham's Hidden Peru is one of our all-time favorites. And I always like to say, if you haven't sent somebody on a Travcoa journey before, it's almost like the starter tour because price-wise, it's economical. It's staying in all Belmont resort properties. So again, you've got a high quality, and it's really showing you the icons of the destination. So when here you've got your 2 nights in Lima, 2 nights in the Sacred Valley, 1 night in Machu Picchu, and 2 nights in Cusco. Now, how you travel, and I'm just going to show you this one here, is in escorted. We also do the same thing on a private journey basis. So again, you have a choice of doing it on a group side or doing it on a private journey side. And next, I'm going to show you sense of place is I think what's really important with our itineraries. This happens to be the Sanctuary Lodge up at Machu Picchu. So when I was explaining, you go from Lima and you go into the Machu Picchu area, you're actually staying here up at the Citadel at night. So when all the crowds leave by the daytime, you're here in the evening, and the next day, you're actually there in the morning, and you're actually able to be there for sunrise before all the crowds show up. So it's actually an amazing opportunity for you to really enjoy the scenery of the destination in the peace and quiet. And then when you get into Cusco, you are actually staying in the Belmonte Monasterio. So you're actually in an old monastery. And again, you're in the heart of everything to do with Cusco. And you also have amazing authentic interactions. And again, this is, as I said, throughout any of our journeys. So in the highlands in Peru, you're actually with the Huila people, and you're actually getting to see how they live in the villages. They're known for their weaving. You get to see how the weaving is produced. So again, a fantastic opportunity to truly understand the culture of Peru. And then for some, we have a lot that actually like to do an extension off of our Machu Picchu program. They can combine this with our Peruvian culinary adventure and the Amazon cruise. So you actually would go from Lima to Iquitos, and we work with Aqua Expeditions. And many of you know Aqua. It's a fantastic cruise product, and they have two different vessels on the Amazon, and again different scheduling, but all are very similar in terms of style. So our program would actually start in Lima, bring you onto the cruise, and you cruise there for 4 days, and then you would come back to Lima. So again, a nice way to extend. And one thing we find, sometimes clients like to actually do the cruise first, and then they go to Machu Picchu afterwards. So it really depends on preference. Now, another popular extension, and this is again a private journey, is our Sacred Waters of Lake Titicaca. So again, after Machu Picchu, you could fly from Lima, you go one night into Arequipa, into the lower highlands, and then 3 nights in Puno, which from Puno, you go to Lake Titicaca. And then we're staying at the beautiful Titilaca Resort, which is on Lake Titicaca. And again, you have a pre and post in Lima. This gives you an idea of some of the scenery. If you don't know anything about Titilaca, it's the only luxury resort on the Peruvian side at Lake Titicaca. Sorry. Fantastic scenery. And while you go there, there's authentic experiences, and you can see the floating reed villages that are there, and you can actually interact with the villagers. So it is an amazing experience to add on. And then lastly, and you can see Peru has a lot of things to do. So if you look back on this map here, you can see Lima. And what we've been doing, we've been going either into Machu Picchu, to the Amazon, to Lake Titicaca to the south, or now we're also doing the Nazca Lines. And again, these are a fascinating ancient lines that have been placed into this vast landscape, and it really looks like a moonscape, and it's again from the Inca era. So this is something that some people like to do as well as an extension out of Lima. And you spend 2 nights in Paracas. You've got your flight seeing over the Nazca Lines, and there's also a cruise to Ballesta Island before heading back to Lima. So again, lots of different options of how to expand your Peru experience. And any of these can be combined together with each other. So if you looked at these and you said, my client really wants to do the ultimate Peru, we can marry things together here. This gives you an idea again of what the aircraft looks like, and the accommodation. So again, as I was saying earlier, we use luxury accommodation or the best accommodation available. This will be the best accommodation available. It's still pretty nice when you're getting into the remoter areas of Peru. And one of the specials we have right now with land, if you're doing any trips to Peru, if you book the air with us, we're able to basically offer you free internal air within Peru if you book the international economy air with us. And also if you book business air with us, then you'll also receive complimentary internal air for your client, as well as one pre or post night in Lima. So these are a really nice offer. It needs to be booked before December 31st. They need to travel before September of next year. And our international air on land right now has gateways from Los Angeles and JFK or Miami. And they are subject to availability, but it's a really nice offer for your clients. So again, remember, we can remove the internal airfare if you're doing the international air with us. Now we're going to move further north up to Ecuador. And for those of you that know Ecuador, most people think of Ecuador as a gateway to the Galapagos, and I will show you the Galapagos in a moment, but I also like to remind you that Ecuador as a country has so much richness, from natural scenery to the culture. This particular itinerary, Avenue, the Highlands, begins and ends in Quito. It's a nice extension that you can actually add to a Galapagos itinerary as well, but it gives you a taste of the highlands of Ecuador. And then going into Galapagos, we do the Galapagos a couple of different ways. You can do it by cruise boat, and we have a variety of cruise vessels that we can use. Again, these are all private journeys, so they can be customized to your needs. Most of the Galapagos cruises are 7-day cycles. There are a few that are 4-day cycles. So again, you have to judge with your clients what their preference is. But we're happy to work with you on whatever they prefer. This particular itinerary, Darwin's Galapagos, actually has a start in Quito for a couple of days. You actually get acclimated and see the city, and then you fly into the Galapagos and do your cruising there, and then it ends in Guayaquil, and from Guayaquil, the mainland, you would fly home from there. Now, we also have something called the Galapagos and Andes Safari, which I think is a fantastic itinerary for either families with young kids that do not want to be on a boat for 7 days or 4 days, but still want to have the experience of the Galapagos. This itinerary starts in Quito and ends in Quito. It brings the clients to Santa Cruz Island, but instead of staying on a ship while they're at Santa Cruz Island, they're actually staying at the Galapagos Safari Camp. This is the main lodge of the Galapagos Safari Camp. This is where all the activities, the meals happen, the spa. There's also a 3-bedroom family suite in the main lodge. But the great thing about the camp, and it's so much fun for the kids, is that they actually stay in tents. It's like an African safari, but in the Galapagos. Again, you don't have any scary creatures out there at night, so this is a very safe destination for young families. The tents are well equipped, very comfortable. And again, you have sort of this adventure feeling while you're in the Galapagos. So you come and you base here, and then by day you go out on day excursions by boat. So you don't sleep on the boat. So you may not get the same expansive view of the Galapagos because you don't go to as many islands, but you have the opportunity to get the experiences of the Galapagos. And also while you're on Santa Cruz Island, you've got the large tortoises here as well, and you've got all the land-based marine life that you see. So great experience. But regardless, Galapagos and Andes Safari gives you a contrast of both the Galapagos and then also getting into the high Andes of Ecuador. And again, as I said, great for families and great for really anyone that wants to be more of a land-based experience. Now, moving on further, we're going up to Colombia. And Colombia at one time was a destination many people avoided for tourism, but it really has come back. It's fascinating culturally. And this itinerary truly gives you a great opportunity to discover the country. You get to see coffee plantations, get into cooking classes, really get to understand the country. And then at the very end, you get to relax on Rosario Island at a beautiful resort. So again, this starts in Bogota and ends in Cartagena. And a fantastic trip and really well priced as well as a private journey. Now, moving on into Central America. We have no escorted journeys through this region, so everything now is a private journey. But Panama, again, crossroads of the world. Again, you truly get a chance to see the Panama Canal, but also the highlands, the beaches, and the cities of Panama. The Costa Rica adventure, this again has been one of our more popular family itineraries as well as for more active couples, because this is really from coast to coast. You're getting a chance to experience Costa Rica from San Jose to Liberia. You're getting the beaches, you're getting the rainforest, you're getting fun activities, there's rafting, wonderful lodges. So again, well priced as well. So a terrific Costa Rica experience. And then lastly, Nicaragua. And Nicaragua, again, is one of these destinations that's just really been coming up on the radar lately. And such a well-priced program, and really having the experience from the volcanic experience to the oceans to really the cultural engagement and interaction with the people of Nicaragua. And there's some beautiful resorts that we use as well on this particular program. And then lastly, colonial Mexico. And Mexico, again, this is not a beach vacation itinerary. This is really taking you into the real heart of the cultural cities, the colonial parts of Mexico. So you've got the archaeological sites. You're getting also into San Miguel de Allende, which is really an artist community. Guanajuato, Moravia, all places where you're going to experience wonderful hacienda accommodation, luxury accommodation, but also really immersive into the culture of Mexico. And then, of course, if you want to extend with a beach vacation, we can certainly add that, but that's not the core of our focus here. So the other big destination, and this is where I'm going to put a little bit of extra time in because I know we always have lots of questions, and this is on Cuba. Travcoa is an approved tour operator under the U.S. government regulations for OFAC under the people-to-people license. And for those of you that have been selling Cuba, you'll understand how people-to-people works. But for those of you that haven't, I'll just explain it. The ability for us to bring travelers into Cuba now based on a people-to-people license has a lot of restrictions. And one of it is that this is not a holiday. This is not a beach vacation. It is really an educational exchange, bringing the American people and the Cuban people together for dialogue and discussion, interaction. And there's a very specific way this is being presented so that we comply with all the regulations that are put in front of us in order to have this license. So one of the things that's important about this is the booking process, is that by the U.S. government regulations, only the client is able to pay us. So they can't pay you and you pay us. So we have to have more engagement with you and the client rather than just everything flowing through you. You can refer a booking to us, you cannot book a booking with us. So it's contextual in terms of words, but we have a specific process that we follow through. We don't pay you a commission, we pay you a referral fee. But the process, I mean, it sounds a little strange, but when you talk to our travel consultants, they can explain the process. And we've been doing this for a couple of years, and it all works very smoothly. But it's just how we are required to work under the U.S. government licensing requirements. It has nothing to do with Cuba's requirements. It is a U.S. government by law requirement. But I was talking about Cuba, fascinating country, and I always say that the Americans are actually, because they're being forced to travel under people to people, they actually have a unique experience that many travelers from around the world don't have when they go to Cuba. Cuba, for other countries, whether it's Canadians or Europeans, has been known as really a sun destination, and they go there to the beach just like Americans would go to another Caribbean island to go to the beach. But with Americans being forced into the people-to-people program, what it's doing is it's providing you an opportunity to really get to know the culture of the people and to see the country like most people never get to see it. And this is such a rich cultural city or destination. There's so much to see between Havana and the rest of the city. So we offer two ways to explore the country. You can do a shorter or a longer program. The longer program actually starts, you can see on this map, in Cienfuegos from Miami. So everything is Gateway Miami. We provide seats on a charter flight that goes from Miami to Cienfuegos. From Cienfuegos, we tour into Santa Clara, into Cayo Santa Maria, which I'll show you some images in a moment. Remedios is a visit. And then from there, from Carrollton into Havana, and then Havana as a base. So you can see you're doing sort of the central to the western part of the island. And again, one of the requirements of people to people is that we do follow this flow. So we have escorted journeys. There's small groups that follow this. You can do this as a private journey. However, it's somewhat cost prohibitive because by law, we are required to provide you with not only a guide in Cuba, but also a travel director that is from the United States. And so therefore, you actually have to have two staff that are taking care of an FIT. So though we do it, we haven't had a lot of people wanting to do it because it is so expensive. So we highly encourage guests to go onto the escorted journey. So Cienfuegos, again, is the gateway. And you start seeing here from Cienfuegos, we move on to Santa Clara, one of the major sites here, the Che Guevara Memorial Museum. And also we get to go into some of the markets. You get to start now engaging with the Cuban people. We go into the Santa Clara School of Music and Dance. They have a chance to meet with children. And also you'll see some of the communities, see people in the streets and how they live in Cuba. And also just be able to enjoy and interact with some of the musicians at the school. Cayo Santa Maria. Now, other countries use this as a beach destination. We stay at a beautiful resort in Cayo Santa Maria, but I always like to show this picture and say this is not what your clients will be doing because we are not allowed to provide beach time. Basically, from 9 till 5, your clients are on a full-time program of educational exchange. When we get back to the hotel at the end of the day, certainly if it's still worthwhile to go to the beach, they can, but during the daytime, everybody that goes on a people-to-people program is required by law to stick within the program. So it is very important that clients know that before they book to Cuba. Now, one of the excursions while we're at Kaya Center is that we go out to Remedios, and you go out to an old sugarcane factory. You'll get a chance to see how they operate, and again, really, it's very authentic in terms of the culture. Going into Remedios itself and getting a chance to engage with some of the cultural activities that are here, and you can see the pedicab that you have a chance to tour throughout the city on. And then when we're driving across the island to Caleton, one of the regions in that area is the Bay of Pigs, which of course has historical significance between the current relations between Cuba and the United States. But also we visit the gateway to Zapata National Park, a wonderful ecosystem within Cuba. Again, that UNESCO has been involved to ensure that this is maintained. And then we move on to Havana. So what I've just talked to you about is the prelude on the longer program for Cuba into Havana. If you have a client that all they want to do is base in Havana and do experiences, we have a shorter tour. We just won't have them do the Cienfuegos, Santa Clara, or Kaya Santa Maria section. So again, basing in Havana, we stay at the Malia Cohiba. Again, it is one of the better hotels in Havana. We are on the top floors of the hotel, so higher category of rooms. And again, it'll be very comfortable. It's not the Four Seasons, but it's definitely as comfortable as you're going to get in Cuba. Old Havana, gorgeous. We spend a lot of time here exploring the cities, from architecture to engaging with locals and some of the schools, and we have a chance to actually meet with a person that used to be working with the U.S. government and the Cuban government in terms of relations. So he spends a couple of hours actually with our group talking about Cuba, the past, present, and future. And it's really one of the most fascinating discussions you'll ever have. We do a cooking class in Havana. We tour around in cocoa taxis, which are a really fun way to actually authentically explore the city. And we also go to the studio of Jose Fuster, who's one of the renowned artists in Havana. And of course, the music, the dance, the people, the magic. You really, truly do have a sense of the fact that the people in Cuba are actually, they're happy. They don't have as much as we have. They have a different life, and that's the purpose of the people to people. It's really to engage and create understanding and sharing between the two cultures. And certainly, there's many different crafts you can purchase along the way as well. We also, of course, visit Hemingway's house. He was one of their most famous residents, and a museum there at Finca Vigia. And Mama Inés is just one of the many restaurants that we visit while we're in Havana. And Cuba is known for something called paladars, and paladars are like they're private homes that they've turned their home into a restaurant, and it really provides you with a real local experience. And paladars you'll find throughout Cuba, and we actually visit quite a few paladars on our trip. And then Mama Inés, again, in the old city of Havana, is one of our favorite restaurants. And then you visit the Cabana Castle. You get to see the guns that fire at night and at sundown. And this is, again, an historical site and provides a really good perspective of Havana from there. Now, that's just sort of a brief run through of the city, and then we also do excursions outside of the city into Viñedos Valley. We visit the Vegas Robino tobacco farm. Of course, Cuba is renowned for its Cuban cigars, and you actually get to watch how they make the cigars, and you can even try your hand at it. And you also enjoy a wonderful lunch at the tobacco farm as well, where they host our clients, and you also have a chance to interact with the owners of the farm. So a really, really local experience. So that sort of concludes that fast sort of tour of Latin America. A couple of things to remember: that whenever your clients are traveling with Travcoa, as soon as they travel with us once, they become a member of our Seven Continents Club. It's exclusive complimentary membership. There's no charge for this. For every trip afterwards, they save between 4% and 6%. And if they bring their families or friends with them on another trip, they can share that savings with them. So it's really a nice benefit for any clients to travel with Travcoa. The other thing, for your sake, on our Travcoa website, you'll notice on the top right there's a section called Travel Agent Resources. This has been newly added, and I really suggest that you go to this page, because here you can actually create an account with us. You can log in, but if you look on the left-hand side of the sidebar, you can see all of the different tools that are available for you here. Anything that has a lock on it is only accessible once you have logged in. But again, we'll have special offers. Sometimes we have special offers just for you, special incentives. You can also find about offers for your clients. So if you want in one location, find out where are all the consumer offers, they are here. Sales and marketing support, you have access to images from our image library are here, so you can add them to your own website or your own promotions. We do agent newsletters. You can look in the archives here. You can order brochures, get our logos from here. Some of our forms, if you're doing groups and you want us to do a group quote, you've got forms there to fill out that'll make it easy for you. And also webinars. So any of the webinars that we do, we record. Our archives are located in that section. So if you've missed a webinar and you want to go back, or you can refer it to another agent, if they're interested in a destination, they can go back after the fact and listen to a recorded webinar. And of course, then lastly, familiarization trips. We don't do a lot of them. We do more private familiarization tours. We are happy to extend 20% off on any of our private journeys or escorted journeys. Sometimes we actually offer our own FAM trips, and so we like to know if partners have worked with us before. You're first on the list to be included if we do offer a FAM trip. So just a great place you go to make sure all your information is there and your resources and support. And then we've got a special offer, though it's not Latin America right now. Right now seems to be the booking season when people are thinking about Europe. I highly encourage you to look at some of our European programs. But this offer is that if you book and deposit by December 31st for travel in 2015 on any of our European trips, your client will receive a free one-night pre- or post-journey stay. And again, that's a nice way to bring them into, whether it's into Rome or into any of the cities that we have our tours to, where they can relax, get over their jet lag, and be ready to start their trip. And of course, we only use luxury hotels, so it's a great value for your clients to add this on. So something to think about there. Our Travcoa team, we are based in Los Angeles, and we are open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. We have our toll-free number here, or you can email us as well. And the one thing you can see here is the Travcoa brand has been around for 60 years. Well, we're not a huge mega team. We're actually more like a boutique partner for you in many ways. And so you'll find that you'll develop relationships with our team. We're not so big that we don't communicate with each other. So when somebody needs help on a destination, they know we can bounce off of other people in the office. We do a lot of three-way calls with your clients and you, if that will help you, because we've got the destination expertise in the office. The other important thing is that when you call and book us, of course, you're calling us in North America. You're making payments, it's with a credit card, and it's processed in US dollars. So if you're doing any bookings with us, you don't have to worry about the currency exchange. We're taking care of all of that for you. We're taking care of wire transfers. Our team is providing you with detailed itineraries, in many cases cobbled together with multiple destinations if you have multiple countries in your booking. And so we're taking all that work away from you. And I always say that let us help you make more money and save you time by allowing us to support you that way. And the other thing is, in terms of support, your sales contacts, myself, and then Rob Fielding. And Rob Fielding is in our office in Los Angeles, and we're actually in El Segundo, which is 5 minutes from the Los Angeles airport. But Rob is our Director of Operations, Guest Services, and Inside Sales, a terrific champion for all of the travel agent partners. We work very closely together, so he's here to support you, and he also oversees all of our team in the office. So again, anything you need, either myself or Rob are there to support you as well. And lastly, I always like to say that we really are a trusted brand. We've been around for 60 years. You can't buy trust; you have to earn it. And though we're not high profile because we don't spend a lot of money in advertising, what we do rely on is our partners like you. And we rely on positive word of mouth from our clients. And our hope is that between you and your clients, you're spreading the word of the benefits of traveling with Travcoa. We are one of the legacy brands, as I said. There's a couple of other companies out there that I won't name that are all excellent companies. I think what we provide is a little bit more of a discerning product, a little bit higher end than the others, and certainly personalization and high touch services is a hallmark of Travcoa. So that is sort of wrapped up from a high level, and I'll open it up for questions now if you have any.
Thank you, Kathy. Great presentation. And we do have some good questions. I would encourage those of you who are listening right now to send your questions in through the question box over on the right, and I will read those to Kathy. So we had several people interested in the visa process. Specifically, it was about Brazil, and also there was a question that came in about Ecuador and whether Travcoa handles those visas.
We don't handle the visas directly. We actually have a partner with Pinnacle that we work with. And so we have visa applications designed for each itinerary. So at the time that you're making the bookings, our travel consultants will provide you with a pre-trip information kit, and in there is the visa information. And basically, it becomes an online form process that you work with Pinnacle.
All righty. And then what about Cuba? This is about documentation. Regarding Cuba, does Travcoa handle all documentation as far as consular? So I think it's a similar question, but it's about entry into Cuba.
Okay, so firstly, when you're making a booking with us, we're basically handling the whole process in terms of the visa processes and all that. You don't need to do that. It is part of the OFAC people-to-people license process. So again, there'll be forms that the clients have to complete, and those are submitted. Now, the one thing that's important is that if a client is not an American, but they wish to book on our program, just because they're not American, they still must comply with the people-to-people program. And most clients that we've had are Americans, so we haven't had this issue, but occasionally we've had Canadian agents wanting to book a Canadian on one of our itineraries, and they have to be compliant. They have to work under the plan and the restrictions and visas and all that we run for the American market. So for somebody from another country that isn't legally bound by the obligations that OFAC has, you may reconsider whether you want to do this itinerary. But for Americans, yes, we take care of all the processing that needs to be done.
Okay. And I need to back up and apologize because the way I phrased that question about visas for Brazil, and I also lumped Ecuador in there, and I know that there's not a visa required for Ecuador, and I shouldn't have asked the question that way because I'm getting flooded with comments, hey, you don't need a visa for Ecuador. So sorry about that. Question about commission structure. What commission structure does Travcoa offer?
Okay, so we have a couple of things. Firstly, on our escorted, well, let's say on any pre-published program, our baseline is 10%. Some of our agents that are part of our preferred consortia are at a higher level per our consortia agreements. We do have a tiered structure, though, that allows you to earn more as you grow your business with us, and our tier ranges from 10% up to 15%. And now, what I put a caveat there, because on our private journeys and our custom journeys, we have the option, we can quote these out to you on a net basis, and you can advise us what commission you wish us to add and build into the cost before we actually process the charge. And the reason this works for those programs is because we have to we have to reprice the itinerary anyways, because they're based on day of departure. So when we have prices in the brochure, it's prices from. So you can advise us, if you feel that you need to add 13% or 15%, and we'll work with you as well to make sure that we feel it's within line with the pricing of the nets that we've gotten. But so, the straight answer is 10% is base. We work all the way up to 15%. Consortia started at a higher percentage. And then additionally, you can do net plus the commission you want for private journeys and custom journeys.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I think that takes care of it, Kathy. I don't see any other questions here. So let me turn it back over to you for closing comments.
Okay, thank you. Well, again, I I thank all of you for having joined me, and I know some of you are great followers of Travcoa and you've been on other webinars. We will be planning to have webinars every month going forward. We did take a bit of a sabbatical for a while. We're back on track with webinars. The next webinar will be in December, I believe it's September the 10th, which will be on our Private Journey program. And Joshua Smith, our product manager for Private Journeys, will be leading that webinar. And then again, starting in January, we'll have a whole new schedule. These schedules will be published on our travel agent resource page on our website. So again, I highly recommend that you log in there so you can see advance, but also, of course, with the support, we'll be sending out invitations to everyone well in advance of the webinars. But if you haven't worked with Travcoa, all I can do is ask you, please give us a try. Give us a call, speak to one of our journey consultants. We have three different teams. We have the journey consultants who work primarily with our escorted and private journeys. And we have our custom journey team who works with our custom journeys. And they're all well skilled, many deep knowledge in different destinations, specialists in Asia, Africa, India, and Europe, so in South America. So you really have somebody that we can touch on, and if it's not the person you're speaking to, as I said earlier, we're small enough that we can grab someone in the office who's an expert in the area and bring them into the conversation. One thing I didn't mention on the call, but many of you are aware of, that Travcoa is part of a larger organization, and we have sister companies that offer other amazing products, such as TCS, which does private jets, including the Four Seasons private jet program, Zagram Expeditions, International Expeditions, both wonderful companies, both land and water-based programs, and then Quark Expeditions, which is the Arctic and Antarctic cruise specialist. Now, Travcoa is actually able to book all of these products. In fact, many of them are featured in our brochure, so whether you book it through us or you book it through them, it is the same price. And again, you'll still get the same quality of experience. And so it's just where your comfort level is in booking. But again, you'll find those and all of our products on our website. And if you ever have any questions or ideas or destinations you're interested in, please drop us a note. I'm happy to put it in front of our product managers. And if you ever have any ideas or questions you have of me on sales and marketing opportunities, happy to help you. Please do contact me as well. And actually, I can go back to my show here for a sec. Sorry, I'm just going to go back and show you my contact details here. So if you need me, there's my email at the bottom, kathy.holler@travcoa.com, and Rob's contact details as well. Again, happy holidays, and we'll be talking soon, I'm sure. Thank you.